health seekers. Tonight I've decided to make a veganized Sainsbury's magazine tagine. So the original recipe is called lamb, squash and date tagine. So obviously I'll be omitting lamb, and I'm going to be replacing the lamb with pieces of smoked tofu and some tempeh. So I'll show you, how I prepared everything. Okay, so let's get started. Right, so I've got my pot heating up. I've got all my vegetables and everything chopped up and ready, prepared. I'll show you in a second. But I'll show you how the pot should be. How can you tell from stainless steel that the pot is hot enough to fry, say, onions without using any oil? So come with me. So this is my pressure cooker, and I'm using it obviously first to fry things off, and then we'll put the lid on and use it as a pressure cooker. So what you need like some little teaspoon and drop some water, and if it's ready, see how the water gathers into one big droplet and it doesn't get evaporated. That means that the pan is hot enough to cook. So all you need to do is just wipe that bit of water and start frying your onions. So here we have our mise en place. So I've prepared all the ingredients ready here. So we've got a full big chopped onion. So I've done some actually small dice, some slices, half moon slices, just to keep it more interesting. Then we've got some fried bits of tofu and tempeh, like I've mentioned. So here we've got them. I've marinated them in a flavorful liquid overnight, and then baked them in the oven for 15-20 minutes. So that's them bits. So that's instead of lamb. Then we've got some dates. So it's about 100 grams of dates, or it was 14 smaller dates. If you're using medjool, probably would be less. Then 1 can of chopped tomatoes, 500 grams of some vegetable stock. Then I've got 1 tablespoon of Rizal el hanout. So that's kind of tagine spice. Then I've got 3 garlics that I've crushed up, a stick of cinnamon, then I've got a small butternut squash. I'm not using sweet potatoes. It says sweet potatoes and butternut squash, but I'm just using butternut squash because that's going to be enough already. And it says chickpeas, but I'm substituting them for some grey peas that I had ready cooked. So obviously I want to use them up. So I'm going to use them, and to finish off, that's some chopped coriander that's going to be just for serving, when we're ready to eat. Okay, so let's get frying the onions. So I've just added the onions, and as you can see, they're getting straight away brown because the pan is very hot. And they're not sticking. You see how easily they're moving about the pan, and that's all to do with how hot you get your pan. So get them browned a little bit, and if they start sticking, caramelizing at the bottom, then you can just put a little bit of stock to deglaze it. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to just fry the onions for a few minutes. If I need water, I'll add it, and then add the garlic and the spices, fry them up, and then I'll get back to you. So as you can see, the onion has browned quite a bit. I'm adding some garlic just for a minute. Let that slightly cook and become aromatic. I'll add a bit more water. So now I'm going to add the spice for a minute. and let that get a little bit aromatic with the onion or garlic. And then we're going to add all the ingredients and stock and let it cook for, well, it says get to the boil and then reduce and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. So we'll, because it's a pressure cooker, it's half the time, so we'll let it, you know, come to pressure and then put it on for 15 minutes. Okay, so I'll get back to you once I've put everything in. Now I've got everything in the pot, so I'll just put the lid, pressure cooker lid on, and get it to pressure, and then cook it for about 15 minutes, and then the tagine should be done. So the pressure cooker is done. I ended up actually just doing it under pressure for 10 minutes because it took quite a while to get up to pressure, so I didn't want to overcook the ingredients. By the way, I forgot to tell you that actually for the grey peas I've put the cooked ones rather than, you know, dried ones. If you're doing peas, kind of like split pea for example, if you were going to do, you could actually put them dried and then cook it with the dish, because that should be enough to cook them through. So anyway, so now I'm adding the tofu and tempeh that I've baked earlier. I didn't put them in together to cook with it because I didn't want it to disintegrate in the pressure cooker, so I'm just adding them now after I've opened the lid and mixing it through so it kind of warms up. I will also add the coriander and quickly mix it in, and that's it. That's the final dish done. So now just need to dish a little bit and have a taste test. This is the first time, by the way, I made this recipe, so I'll be trying it for the first time as well. Okay, so see you in a minute. So this is the complete dish. Smells quite nice. So now a taste test. It's probably too hot still. It's quite nice. It's very hot still. Yeah, it's got like the sweetness. I can taste the cinnamon as well, with the earthiness of butternut squash, and obviously there's tempeh and tofu. Yeah, so I think it's actually not a bad combination, and the grey peas kind of substitute chickpeas here. I think that worked. So yeah. So that's it. That's the tagine dish done. First time I've tried it, but I think I might repeat that again. So let me know how you guys got on with your dish if you try it, and see you next time for some more recipes.